Hey guys, MG here from mgcovers.com, bringing you a brand new handicapping video, an overview of the NHL money line, how to play it and how to profit from it. So let's get started. So first, let's define what a money line wager is. There's no point spread in this line. In order to win a money line bet, the team wagered on simply has to win the game. You also see money lines in baseball. You see them in all sports, but they're most popular in hockey and baseball. So let's look at this example. This is a game. I think this was tonight. Boston is listed at 136. They are the favorite, which means you would have to wager 136 in order to win $100. We're just going to use a $100 example. Conversely, LA is the underdog. They are plus 118, which means if you wager $100, you will win $118. So now that we have defined the money line wager, let's move on to the rules of money line wagering. NHL money line rule number 1: never wager higher than minus 150 on the favorite. And we're going to go over this in great detail, but first let's look at an example. Last year's Stanley Cup winner, the Washington Capitals, they played 82 regular season games. They won 49. You take 49 divided by 82, that gives you a 59% win percentage, which means they won 59% of their games. And that was the best team in the NHL last year. Let's move to the previous year. Stanley Cup champions were the Pittsburgh Penguins. They won 50 of their regular season games out of 82 for a win percentage of 60%. Now, you might be wondering, what does that have to do with minus 150? Well, if you convert 60% into a money line, that is minus 150. So if the best teams in the NHL win only at a 60% margin, why would you pay more than minus 150? You should never pay higher than 150 on the favorite. NHL money line rule number 2: even the worst teams in the NHL have a 40% chance of winning. Or you might want to think of it this way, using the previous example: even the best teams in the NHL will lose 40% of their games. And again, let's look at a real life example. This was a game from the 2019 season. I'm not sure what year you might be watching this video. Tampa Bay, probably the best team in the NHL right now. They were playing this night, St. Louis. They were listed at minus 185. You can see there. Now, St. Louis actually upset Tampa Bay and won this game. Now let's look at some numbers. What I'm going to do is, the best way to do this, let's pretend this same exact scenario comes up 10 times. And the reason I use 10, that's just a number we can all relate to. So you're going to lay minus 185. You win 60% of the time. You're going to win $600. So you won 6 out of the 10 games. Those other 4 games you're going to lose. So you take 185 times 4, because you lost those 4 games. That's $740. So over the long term, you lose minus 140. NHL money line rule number 3: the line you play must be lower than the line you create. Let's look at an example. This is an actual game we wagered on. Calgary was listed as minus 120, the favorite, and they won. Now, the line we created for the game was minus 140. Now, again, going back to the rule, the line you play must be lower than the line you create. The line we created was minus 40. The line we played was minus 120. Why is this important? Let's think of this in terms of retail. In terms of retail, you go in a store, you see some headphones you like, you ask the clerk, how much are those headphones? He said, those headphones are $140. And you've looked online and that's what they're worth, $140. You're basically paying full retail for those headphones. You shop around, you go to another store, you find out, you walk in that store and they said, hey, you ask how much those headphones are. He said, those $140 headphones, you can buy them for $120. We have them at a 15% discount. That's a good deal. We are trying to do the same exact thing in sports betting. We're trying to find value. So we're basically buying Calgary for $120 when they're actually worth $140. 140 means we think they're going to win at 58% of the time, but the line we only have to pay for Calgary is minus 120. Now let's use that previous example where we run into this scenario, say 10 times, you win 60% of the time, 6 games, and you lose 40% of the time, you lose 4 games. And let's see how that turns out. So minus 120 times 60%, you win 6 games, that would be $600. Now you're going to lose 40% of the time, so we take 4 times 120, and that comes to 480. But look what happens now. We are profitable. That's why when you look at the previous example, it is not profitable because you're wagering higher than 150. In this example, we're not, and we have value, and we're going to win. And this is the difference between winning and losing in sports betting. It really is. So to recap the NHL moneyline rules, number 1, never wager higher than minus 150 on the favorite. There are really no exceptions to that rule. Number 2, even the worst teams in the NHL have a 40% chance of winning. Or you can think of even the best teams in the NHL will lose 40% of the time. And finally, the line you play must be lower than the line you create. So I hope you liked that handicapping video. I hope that helps you with your handicapping. If you got any questions, leave a comment below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. We also have some more content at mgcovers.com. And if you look at our link in our description box, we also have a link to our Instagram account, which we update daily several times with a lot of handicapping information and also reveal a lot of our free picks. So I hope you guys have a good night.